Welcome to the Real Housewives of Atlanta After Show! We are live right here in Hollywood. So what does that mean? We are on theStreamtv. That means you can interact with us. And let me tell you, we love it when you interact with us. So make sure you include that hashtag RHOAAS. And I know you got a whole lot to say. This episode was called All Tea, All Shade, but honey, it should have been called I'm a grown-ass woman. Peaches.
Right.
Okay? Right. We got a whole lot to say, so join us in the conversation. I'm one of your hosts, Cha-Cha Chanandade. Hit me up at Chanandade or hit up any of our hosts. To my left, I got my girl, Nadia B.
Ciao, everybody.
And to my far right, of course, I always have all the way from Kentucky via ATL.
Whoop, whoop, it's me, Megan Thomas. What's up, y'all?
And to my immediate right, my girl from New York City.
Sean Richards. Hi.
Hey, okay, so we're gonna get started with the first question of the day. Aunt Lori, love her. She's beautiful inside and out. Do you ladies agree with the whole apologies and being kind? Do you think apologies should come from the ladies to Kenya with all that was going on? And keep in mind what NeNe was saying, no apologies.
I'm sorry, but I think she deserves an apology. This is a 2-year rumor that went around. I mean, she wasn't innocent in this whole thing. I mean, NeNe did bring up some really good facts, but she deserves an apology, right? I think she does.
I absolutely think that Kenya should get an apology, and I'm so glad Phaedra was so quick to say, yeah, I'll give her an apology because, you know, everyone called her out her name for 2 years. Now, granted, she did do some whorish stuff, like NeNe said, but I think that's irrelevant in this situation. It's irrelevant.
It is.
Because it has nothing to do with the fact that this man lied on you, even though you flirted with him, fine. But that has nothing to do with the fact that you were lied on for 2 years. Sorry.
Exactly.
Okay.
Unfortunately, she does deserve an apology. And the thing is,
Unfortunately.
no, the thing is when people is pushing your buttons and they just bring in the worst out of you, you don't really know how Kenya is really. I don't think we really know the real Kenya. And I think she is a spiritual person. She loves gardening. And I mean, she was raised by her lovely aunt, so she can't be that much of a monster. And I think we never met the real Kenya. So we'll see. This season, I think she's gonna show her good side.
Yes, I have to say that I agree with you on that, Nadia. Unfortunately, she does deserve an apology, but I think Kenya is the peach fuzz of shiznit starting. She is the queen bee of starting stuff, and she never, ever takes ownership of when she starts stuff. I mean, this has come back on all around to how they're going to apologize to me, and if they come and apologize to me first, then I'll think about it. No, she started everything.
Right, but here's the thing. Here's the thing I notice about Kenya, though. Kenya does start a lot of stuff with women, but you have to understand her background because the way people act is a product of their environment.
Right.
She never had a mom. She had the worst relationship with her mom and her family. And typically women who have problems with their mothers have problems with other women.
Yes.
And so she just doesn't seem to gel with these women too well. And I think that's the reason why.
Well, also she can't trust. I mean, she couldn't trust her mom. So how could she really say that she could trust these women?
Yeah.
You know, and they've shown their side to her. So I mean, I agree with you on that.
I also think she was new on the show, so she had to do something shocking, something to be remembered. I mean, she don't want to disappear like Lisa or like.
Now that was shade. No shade. That was a lot of shade.
That was speech
She didn't want to disappear like those other drama-free ladies, so she had to have something strong. That's why she kept going with the drama, because...
Yeah, that's got to be exhausting, though. You have to, it seems like everything she starts, there's an intention, a foul intention behind it. So we shall see, but I think you're so right, Megan, that it goes back to her relationship with her mom. And that's what Kenya needs to do. She needs to heal that aspect of her life so she can move forward. All right, and we're going to move forward with the next question. But we'll come back to that one, evidently. We can't let it go. Okay, Cynthia. We talked about the new Cynthia last week, but honey, this is a whole new level turned up to 10 on Cynthia. Do you guys like the new Cynthia?
She's a grown-ass woman. That's all. That was the reoccurring comment the whole show. Everybody was a grown-ass woman on this show.
Oh my God.
Beyonce, I'm a grown
I mean, it was really a lot. But you got to understand, I mean, there's a whole season we don't see. There's a period where they're not shooting. Could you imagine how many comments were coming to her and people go, oh, you sew up NeNe's butt, you sew up, you this, you that, and you listen to Peter, and Peter manipulated. So she probably ate her spinach. And she said, I'm coming. And she just was ready to go in, right? I mean, I didn't even think she had it in her, to be honest with you.
You know, I like the new Cynthia. I'm glad it's about time Cynthia turned up and stopped being such a flip-flopper. And I think she's starting to find her own. And she's not taking this BS from people anymore. And I like that about her. Now, sometimes you can be zealous without having the correct knowledge. And I think that's where she is right now. I think her intentions are good with trying to defend herself, but I think in the process she's overcompensating. So she's doing too much and she's being too rude and too turn up. And I think she's gonna fight somebody. I'm just saying.
Yes, I'm enjoying this new Cynthia. I think it's true that now we can see who she is really. And I believe that probably the marriage with Peter made her a little different. Because, you know, she just got married, so I think Cynthia is turning a little more into Peter. So they're gossiping. Like, they're gossiping all the time.
He's a housewife.
Judging. And I also think that Cynthia always had this really slow reaction. Just like when NeNe called Peter the B word, first she's like, she thought about it so long. It's like, am I gonna get mad? Am I gonna forgive her? Like, come on, somebody's calling somebody really close to you a B word, it's a fight. Right away. Well, she just have this really slow reaction.
Is that a bad thing?
No, but NeNe even brought it up.
We don't know who you are, you know, when you're that.
She had a slow reaction, but NeNe also said that everything was fine until she started looking at the comments that were coming to her. And then by the time the reunion came, she was like, she was really in like one of those type of moods. So I don't know. I mean, is it a new Cynthia or is it, you know, Peter in her ear Cynthia? I mean, I like some spice, but it's a little much.
I think at this point, Peter should be scared of her. I think she's liable to karate chop him in his sleep. Peter, look out! Cynthia's coming for you in your sleep. She's crazy.
I have to say, I don't like the new Cynthia. I don't like this aspect of her. It's very negative, and she's always talking about how she wants to be positive. She doesn't want to deal with the haters, but every single scene, she's talking about Porsha and all this negativity surrounding it. So it is definitely flip-flopping. So who do you think is the biggest flip-flopper, Cynthia or Porsha?
I think Cynthia, because Porsha, she is clearly who she's showing. She's the bimbo that she is. She's clueless about history. She's, you know, she wants to have fancy things. She wants to be beautiful. She's very much into her appearance, but she is who she is. Cynthia, I think she changed a little, and the same thing when she judged. First, she judged Porsha, then she said, oh no, you were wrong. Like, I think she changed because she's a little calculating. So but she's a model. She used to be in judge.
Every week.
Right, but she used to be in judge. No, it's a good thing.
You have a modeling background, so you know.
Being a model, you always careful of what you're saying, what you're doing, how you're sitting down. You always have to be very conscious. So that's why maybe she has this slow reaction, because first she thinks, then she go on the blog, she start reading and she's like, do I really come out that way?
And
then she's changing her idea.
Now she's just mad if she doesn't care.
But Porsha, everybody, see, the argument was getting up to 10, and nobody really remembers that during the summer there was her speech, a sermon she gave, and she was talking about homosexuality in a negative way. And she's not addressed it. And Cynthia brought it up, and that's where this whole argument is coming from. But there was so much talking.
You couldn't understand what was going on.
And she, to me, I felt Porsha did not want the public to know, because that was 6 months ago.
Right.
Yeah.
You can look it up. She's giving a sermon about homosexuality, it being a
and
sin, and she needs those fans.
To her
remember?
ignorance,
Right.
She doesn't really know.
So she's a flip-flopper.
what it is.
Okay.
So hold on. So you say that Porsha's a bigger flip-flopper than Cynthia?
That is a huge flip-flop because now you're on TV and you've got all these gay fans. So now you want to say, oh, I didn't say that? No, go to YouTube.
Okay,
go to
so
YouTube.
Porsha is the flip-flopper and Cynthia is the grown-ass woman.
I don't know. I'm going to have
That's
to
a
agree
big
with
hit flip-flop to
I'm
me.
going to have to say, okay, I agree with you, but I'm going to have to say Cynthia's a bigger flip-flopper only because Porsha is not smart, y'all. I'm sorry. She's not. And
Yes,
so because
exactly.
of her, she gets a pass when you're not the brightest. Unfortunately, you get a pass in this society, and so that's what she gets. So that's why I have to
So you're
say
not
because
concluding
Cynthia
that
is
as a flip-flopper.
smarter.
Okay.
And so I'm sorry, when you know better, you do better. And because Cynthia knows better, I will consider her a bigger flip-flopper.
And also, Cynthia, she waited 1 hour sitting down. Like, if you're really mad
Get
about
up
it,
and go.
I would have left.
Get up and
I'm
go,
sorry.
girl.
I'm
Yeah.
You're
sorry.
flip-flopping. You're mad, but
That
you're
was not
sitting
smart.
there.
That was not
That's
smart.
The slow reaction.
So y'all thought she should have got up?
Yes.
No, I don't think she should have got up because I feel like if you would have invited me here, and if I have somewhere to go immediately, then obviously yes, but she didn't have to go somewhere right then at that moment. I think she really wanted to know, what does this girl want to say to me? She invited me here.
Is she giving importance?
Reschedule.
She already knew what they were talking about.
Okay, but I'm saying I think Porsha was wrong because when you're late, you tell people, and Porsha did not even give her the respect or the courtesy to say, hey, I'm going to be late.
Okay.
Or, hey, maybe we should do this another day.
Time we
But
need
I
to
would
move
wait
on.
another
We can come back to this.
Go back to that one.
Let's talk about Kandi and Todd in this long distance relationship and what is happening. Do you think this is going to be a burden on their relationship in the long term or not? Do you think they're going to work it out?
I'm confused as why they didn't talk about these matters before they got
Exactly.
married, first of all. So it seems to me like Todd is just riding the wave. He see a beautiful woman so madly in love and giving him whatever. So he's just going for the ride. But then after they all did, then he's really coming out with who he really is. Like, listen, I'm all about my job. I don't know if
like
I
Mama
can come
Joyce
back.
over there.
Yeah.
No,
Mama
but you know
Joyce.
what? It's true. Like the discussion on children. Like you guys didn't discuss this before.
Right. But you know what? I think they probably did. I think they talked about the distance, but it's different when you talk about it and then you're living
actually living it.
You know what I mean? I absolutely think that, you know, it's going to be hard. I don't think that it's going to break their marriage because they're used to traveling and they're used to going with their businesses. It's just a matter of, okay, let's try to sync it up. But I think the baby thing, Candy's right. They should have a baby. She's 38. What you waiting on?
But why do they need to bring in? I mean, let's enjoy like just because you get married doesn't mean you need to jump into having a baby. I mean, it should come organically.
But she's 38. I agree with you. She's 38 though, so it's only a couple more years you got on your eggs.
She wants to do it, yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
only a couple more eggs left,
So
probably.
they turn rotten on you, honey. For them eggs
And what
get
do you
rotten.
guys think about Kayla and Riley?
That was the best. That was the whole show to me.
That family got some problem. First of all, Todd's daughter is 18, and you acting like that at 18. At 18, I moved out, and she looked like she don't know what she's doing.
Riley
where
checked
she's
her and she
going.
said, "Oh, I'm gonna be in college."
That was
Peach Fuzz shade.
Riley's just a little brat. I think she's a spoiled little girl. I mean, she had everything she wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She don't
And
want
she's
it
always,
allowance.
and she's never and $100 a week.
That's a real
Yeah.
job, girl. You better go to Walmart and McDonald's and work.
Yeah.
$100 a week.
But when she said that $100 a week, Kayla turned at her and was like smiling. But when Kayla said her curfew at 2 a.m., Riley was like, oh no, that's too early.
But the
she was
funny
being
thing
a
is she
parent.
said there's nothing going on out here after. So like there was shade
For
upon
you.
shade. Like she was like, what are you gonna be doing at that time?
Oh, don't
Yeah.
worry, because as soon as she hits 18, Riley's gonna be like, "What you mean I can't go out until 2 a.m.?"
Right, exactly.
I can tell they're gonna kill each other.
They're gonna it was so weird because it was like
love.
no love. There was nothing
But
between
you
the
know
two.
what? But they've both been, from we understand, only children. So now you got somebody coming in on your territory, somebody that's probably
I
going to take
understand
away
that.
from you. You know, so it's a little, and they're not little. They're grown.
They're
So they've been
grown.
living
very
like this for
individualized.
years.
Yeah,
I
very
think
different.
Mama Joyce is having some influence on Riley. Yes,
Absolutely.
definitely. Yes.
And also,
Huge
Todd,
one.
stop shaving your eyebrows.
Stop shaving them or start shaving them?
Stop shaving
He shaves them? They still fit though.
Yeah, but they have these perfect
arch. It's an arch. It's better than mine has ever been.
Oh, I thought that was
I've never had a
natural
good
because his eyebrows have always been like that.
They're perfect.
What is Todd doing? Why is he so busy?
He's producing that show Hollywood Divas.
Oh, that's why he's
TV One.
to LA.
Yeah.
He stepped it up.
He stepped it up, and if you watch the show, the first title card says Todd Tucker Production. Just in case you didn't know.
Yes, Mama Joyce.
Yeah,
You got a job, Mama Joyce.
Joyce.
He got a job,
There should
Mama
be a
Joyce.
comma, Mama Joyce. I'm a grown-ass man. All right, moving on to the new peach in town, Miss Claudia, darling.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was gonna like her. I thought I was gonna have to call her Claudia because she's friends with Kenya, and she was gonna forecast a little bit of rain, sleet, snow, and possibly shade. But I like her. I like her so far.
Yeah,
so far.
I like her too.
What do you think?
I'm happy that she's there. She's bringing something completely different. And the fact is that she's got a lot in common with Kenya. They go way back. So she could reel her in if she needs to. And, and they could just kiki and start, drama.
Yeah, I
In
like
some
her.
way. Fun drama.
Right,
fun
right.
drama.
She seems really fun. At first, I was a little scared about, okay, is Claudia going to be cool? Is she going to be weird? She seems to be really fun, and I like the fact that Kenya now has an ally because every single season, Kenya doesn't have anybody that has her back except for Brandon. Now she has a homegirl, so boom, boom, I'm that, y'all.
Well, I don't think she needs any backup. Kenya doesn't. Well, let us know what you think because you are half Italian and Egyptian, so is Claudia coming from a mixed background.
I felt a little weird when she said, I was teased growing up. It's like everybody want to have this dramatic story. And, you are sad because you're biracial. I mean, you should be embracing it and be like, hey, my mom is from Italy. I travel all around the world.
Yeah.
I'm international. She's Italian. I mean, the urban community always embraces Italian. They want to be the new Al Capone, the new, the new big mobster. So I don't think that it's something negative that you should be like, oh, yeah, I was teased when I was young.
Well, I mean, she's giving her experience. I was teased. Everybody's been teased growing up, but I feel like
you don't want to start off like that. You want to say, hey, I'm Italian. That's how I felt. But I mean, here in America, everybody's always trying to have a sad story about, the
violence
race,
come
where
on
they're
a lot.
coming from. Are they that close-minded in Rhode Island? I mean, I don't know.
Girl, yeah.
Apparently so. You know what? Her mom is Italian, so her raising the two, her and her brother, it could have been that situation.
Right.
She's just giving her she's giving what happened with her.
And I'm biracial too, and I'll say
want.
it hasn't always been easy. I've heard stuff from my Korean side, I've heard stuff from my black side. I'm not black enough, I'm not Korean enough, or whatever, but I mean, sometimes that defines who you are because it makes you stronger, and it seems like she's done very well for herself as a result of people talking negatively about her. So.
I'm sure it makes you more beautiful, and people will be like, oh, you have amazing eyes, and you're like, yeah, I'm half Korean. You wouldn't be like,
I know, but there's been times where people are like, your eyes are too tight. Oh, chinky. You know what I mean? So there's always two sides to the coin. I think you have to find your own, though.
And you got to also think this is her introduction. So she's got to kind of get you in of what her experience is. Right. We already saw her turning up last week making jokes about Apollo, with the Social Security card situation. Yeah. She's got to bring something in. You know what I mean?
I'm sure when she met a guy and she's like, I'm half Italian, the guy's not going to be like, oh, you are biracial.
Yeah. But it's a good point to bring up because in the black community, we are always talking about races and being hated on and all this other stuff. So it's a good thing she did bring it up because it's a conversation that we need to continuously talk about and educate ourselves
I'm just saying she should embrace it instead of just put it on a little bit on the negative side because if we keep saying, oh, it's negative to be biracial, then...
I don't think she was saying that. I think she was just saying, I had some negative experiences.
She had these experiences growing up.
But I think she loves being biracial.
She was teased just as much as she was loved for that.
Right, and we can keep on talking about this as well, ladies. So let's make sure we quickly talk about Phaedra and Apollo. Do you think the boys should visit him in prison?
No.
Quickly.
No.
Absolutely not.
Too little.
No.
I don't think they are the type of boys that would be okay to go to prison. I mean, if you are strong and you're used to seeing and knowing what's going on, if you're strong, I mean,
they're so young.
I wouldn't have a problem taking kids to see their father in prison if they were a little, I don't know, I think Phaedra is a little too protective to them, so they're not ready.
I think she should.
You think she should?
Absolutely. It's a part of their reality,
She
and it's
should,
part of.
but
And
they're
she
not
should use it
strong
as an
enough.
example to her children. This is what you do. If you do this is what will happen.
But they
absolutely,
have,
he needs to see his babies. I'm sorry.
They have as from what we've seen on the show, I don't really see many male figures in the I don't see an uncle. There's no grandfather.
Well, we don't know that.
Well,
We haven't seen it. We just haven't seen it.
We haven't seen it. I think they're just way too young to go into.
Maybe at a certain age, but they need to see their dad.
It's 8 years he's got, right?
Yeah.
He's got 8 years.
He may get out in 5. Good behavior.
Also, sometimes when you lie to them is wrong because if they ask, "Oh, where's Daddy? Where's Daddy?" "Oh, he's on vacation. He's, you know."
No, I think she's gonna explain to them what happened.
What
because
went on.
I don't think she's gonna lie to them. I think you have to explain to them in a way that they understand at that time. So she'll probably say that. I just think that Phaedra. I mean, after this episode, the way Apollo acted, like he was entitled to certain things. He needed the
And
divorce.
did you peep that with the lawyer? He's trying to get money. While
He's trying
it's
to
going to
get
be
money.
off camera.
That's going to be off camera.
That could be a whole nother show. We gotta go. We gotta go take a quick little break,
Oh,
but
yes.
make sure you stay tuned because when we come back, we're gonna give our shout outs to our YouTubers and our Twitters and our Facebookers, and we love it when you contact us. I can't emphasize that enough. So hashtag RHOAAS, and we'll be right back. Just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live.
Just in case you missed it live.
Oh, just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live, I'm doing something right now.
So we're all super excited.
This is dancing.
So what would that be, like a 7?
I cannot. I literally cannot. You guys have got to get it together.
Don't hate the player. Don't hate the game. Hate the contract you didn't get.
He's a coward. He's a giant chicken shit.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's going to be like hurricane. Whoa.
Watch out for those girls. They are gagging them.
Hold the phone.
Hold on.
Bro.
The more brutal you are, the more power you have.
Right.
That was sexy. It was hot. It was heated. I was into it.
You are going to be the most high-paid hooker in the world.
Go ahead and invite your friends and everybody. Tell your mama. Tell her, go ahead and turn the stove off and get up on the computer so we can get on theStream.tv.
Thank you again for joining us, and until next week, bye-bye.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. We're going to quickly give some YouTube shout-outs really quickly. SEFYH and Wanda Vanderlock and Deborah Garner. Thank you guys so much for giving us YouTube shout-outs. We love you. And don't forget to subscribe since you're already at theStream.tv. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get into our first fan question, which is from Pink Lady Ebony, which is Clarion Haynes, at Pink Lady Ebony. NeNe can never get a break from the haters. Shouldn't she get more credit than she does?
Look at my face.
NeNe loves the haters. The haters and the lovers. You talk bad or good about me, at least you're talking. I think
It works for her. It works for her.
Look at Megan.
Megan, we know you hate NeNe. Come on now.
Oh, God.
Is there any love there?
Look at my face.
Come on.
Look at my face.
Don't hate the player, don't hate the contract.
Oh, God. You know
I'm
what?
gonna hate the person who should be hated on, and that's NeNe. I'm a NeNe hater, and I'm gonna stay a NeNe hater until she becomes more humble and more kind. She's still arrogant. I don't like that about her. Sorry.
I think NeNe was humble in the beginning, and I love those moments when we got to see her. When she was reprimanding her son for coming in
That was
late.
the best.
That wasn't humble. That was being a mama.
Exactly. That was her.
But she
That's
was
a part of
keeping
who
it
she
real is
is.
what
She was
you- what
keeping
you're-
it real,
yeah,
her authentic
yeah.
self.
I think that haters elevate you at times, but I don't know if NeNe has had any humble pie yet still.
No.
I'm not even sure why we're talking about NeNe. She's not in this season.
You think she's gonna be out?
Break. She should.
What do you think her storyline's
She's
gonna
like
be?
the big mama, the girl you go to for some suggestion. She just give you advice.
Okay.
She's the advisor, but
And you think she's good for that?
not really.
Okay.
She has her way, but she doesn't really have anything going on this season.
Besides,
NeNe, I love
she's
you.
on Broadway. She's on Broadway.
She's on
guys.
Broadway collecting checks
That's-
every
yeah.
which way there
Okay.
is.
It's just not reality show.
Yeah, that's true.
And we've seen the real NeNe, so I will always love NeNe. Sorry, Megan. All right, Crystal W. This is our second fan question from Crystal W. Kenya, Is she really vindicated or not? Because she did flirt with Apollo in front of Phaedra, asked for a threesome, and started this mess from the get-go. Don't you think Kenya is as much to blame in this situation? Oh, Crystal, we are right here, girl. I love you for saying this question right now. All right, ladies, what y'all think?
No. No, she's not just as much to blame. Again, is she wrong for flirting with somebody's husband and being a little loose, floozy, and thought-like, as Porsha says? Absolutely. She is responsible for that. She is not responsible for somebody calling her out her name and spreading all these lies about her. That's kind of like saying, that's like when you say a woman who wears a short skirt, she deserved to get raped. That's not her fault that somebody did something.
It's extreme.
That's extreme. But I'm saying that's also putting blame on a person for something just because they acted in a way that was similar to whatever happened to them.
Okay.
It's not fair.
Like Shauna's like, I think she's really calculative. Calculative?
Yeah. She's calculated.
Great. Because every single move seems like she does to have sympathy, or even when she cries, I don't believe her. I'm sorry.
And authentic. You got something to say about it? I can see it in your face.
You know what? The back to the Apollo thing, she should get some apology, actually, from every member on the cast. I think she should. Apollo, on the other hand, he is an instigator, and he did contribute to the flirtation going on.
How did he instigate it, though?
He was checking her out. I mean, those
He's a
cutaways.
man. He's a straight man.
Okay, but the cutaways, you can't get those
They
cutaways.
could have edited that.
The cutaways, but you couldn't. There was 2 angles, and there's no way he was not looking at her butt. I was looking at her butt. I know he was looking at her
If
butt.
we were looking at it, a straight man's gonna look at it.
But I'm just saying, she should get the apology from everybody. Now, as far as playing the harps while you're apologizing, probably not.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sorry. Okay, move on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. But I wanted to say also about the Phaedra and Apollo situation. That's what you get when you want to have a boy toy and you want to have a younger man that's good looking, and you are the wealthy sugar mom. Then don't expect your man to be loyal when you want to get a divorce and he's going to jail, that he's not gonna try to take your money or be shady.
So moral of the story, marry old
Unfortunately,
and rich.
women
And ugly.
Rich and ugly and not in jail. Okay? Don't write letters to anybody in jail. Okay?
Right. Well, here's the thing I do have to say about Kenya is I do believe, like you were saying, her intentions when she invited NeNe to be the guest of honor, didn't tell her she was going to be the guest of honor last season, but invited her like everybody else, didn't check to see if she was available, and then was saying, I was acting out of the kindness of my heart. Her intentions when she was flirting with Apollo and talking about a threesome with Phaedra, after Phaedra had consoled her after old boy had dissed her when they went on this trip, her intentions behind everything, they're foul. And so it's hard to embrace her. That's why everybody ran to Porsha when she pulled your hair out at the reunion instead of you. So you can't cry about that. Yes, she deserves an apology, but your intentions are foul, and that's what you need to work on. All right, get your contract, girl. All right, let's give some Twitter shout-outs to our fans. Guys, I can't emphasize this enough. Make sure you hit hashtag RHOAAS and let us know. We love it when you tweet us and you contact us on the YouTube feed as well. We always respond, and we always telling each other about it. So make sure you hit us up. We want to give Twitter shout-outs to Uplift, TRHOA and RHOA_fans, and Jocelyn Polite, who's the theStreamtv host for the Scandal After Show. She's always supportive.
Thank you.
Also, All Things RH at All Things RH and at Byron Mark. Thank you so much for your support, guys. And don't forget Tay Smith, ENT, and K Easy. Did I get that right, Megan? K Ezyke. Thank you. And RHOA_fans, and we want to give Facebook shout-outs to Reality TFB and Real Housewives Wet Paint Facebook, and we got favorited by Atlanta Housewives at RHOA_fans. You guys are rocking it. We thank you so much for your feedback and for following us. Now, want to make sure, since you're already at theStream.tv, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because we're going to be back next week with the Real Housewives of Atlanta after show, and make sure you tweet us throughout the week. The conversation does not have to end. There was so much going on in this episode.
Too much going on.
We know you have a lot to say still. So please tweet us all throughout the week, and we will see you next week. Bye, Peaches! Bye!
Twirl.
Twirl.